Hey, it's Honey Gregory again, and guess what? I have an amazing guest. Of course I do. I always do. This guy, pew pew pew. You know what that is? Those are my little guns. Pew pew pew. This guy has an amazing gun range, and we're going to talk about guns in the Second Amendment today, and we're going to have so much fun. Did I say that? So much fun. Yeah, so much fun. All right, so get ready. We're going to talk about guns. Stay tuned. Hey, it's Honey Gregory, and welcome to my channel, Perpetual Learning, where we are always learning. Because if you're not learning, of course, you're dying. You might as well be dead, right? Because what's the point of being here if you're not learning something new? And today we're going to learn some really cool new stuff about my really great friend that I haven't seen in forever. So I'm going to welcome Matt Barthold. Did I say it right?
That's close enough.
Okay. Well, then say it. What's a better pronunciation?
Barthold. Barthold.
It's a TH. Good God, I can't spell, can I? Okay. Matt Barthold. Yeah, I did it that time. Oh gosh. Well, Matt, I'm so glad you agreed to come on here because this is such a timely situation. And you and I've known each other for a long time because we were in a networking group. And I remember when you were just starting out with your new business and everything. And I'm just so proud of you. For those out there who are listening, Matt has an amazing new gun range. What do you call it? American Arms Indoor Gun Range, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I remember when you started out sharing a shop with somebody. So why don't you give us a little history about how you have made it to this point in your journey? And I know that you formerly served in the military. Is that right?
Yes, the Marine Corps.
Marine Corps. And my brother was in the Marine Corps. My dad was Air Force. So I'm supporting the Air Force today.
Yes, you are.
And in honor of having you on my show. And I know my dad, is out there. My great grandpa was Air Force, and two of my uncles fought in, I think, Vietnam. So, like you, there's a military background. Um, so thank you for your service. I appreciate you so very much.
Thank you.
And so, why don't you give us some history about yourself and how you started this gun range? This is so fantastic.
Well, I actually 47 years old, but I joined the Marine Corps back in '96. Did 10 years, and I've got my wife. She's a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest son now, if you remember him, Elijah, he'll be 22 this year.
Oh
But
my God, 22?
yeah,
Oh, where did the
he's been
time
in the
go?
Marine Corps. I know he's been in the Marine Corps 17 months now.
What?
Um, yeah, it wasn't planned. He did it. I mean, my whole family's military.
Yeah, mine too.
My dad, sister's Navy. I've got a brother, Army. My other brother's 17 years Air Force. So
Yeah.
we've got the branches covered. And
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of like I'm like the ugly duckling who didn't go in. I should have.
That's
I
all right.
almost did. I almost did. I tried 3 times to join and it didn't work out.
Yeah, well, that's all right because you took other routes.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
did.
but no, it did that. And during that time, I was a heavy machine gunner, 50 cal, Mark 19 infantry for the Marine
Wow.
Corps. So it's those big guns you see on top of Humvees, and we hiked those. We call them humps, but humped those things around, hiked them around. Did that for 4 years, and I was a recruiter back here in Bloomington, Indiana, and went down to Quantico then, where my wife was at,
Mm-hmm.
and was a marksmanship instructor down there. I'd already been an instructor for the Marine Corps at the time, but marksmanship
Wow.
instructor at Quantico, and then got onto the Marine Corps shooting teams as a permanent member, which usually less 1% ever get on to the permanent member, which I'm proud
Wow.
of my son because he's actually now a marksmanship coach,
Oh my
also
gosh.
for, and so his job fields, he's in the less 1% of what Marines get into too. So it's
Wow.
pretty proud of him. But
Yeah.
so doing that, I did my last 3 years Marine Corps shooting teams on the pistol side, and got out and got into security, private security in DC, Maryland, Virginia. Was the director of training and recruiting for the second largest security company at the time, back in the
Wow.
early 2000s, and I should say maybe it was 2005, 2008. But then with my wife, she got out, she was a deputy. And so her being law enforcement 10 years, it got to where we got moved back up here. I had to find something to do.
Mhm.
Wasn't quite sure. I was going to school. Started going through IU, Kelly School of Business, trying to figure out what I really wanted to do with my life.
Yeah.
I had to grow up. And
Yeah. We all got, I guess, sooner or later.
yep. And in the end of 2011, I had somebody ask me to go into business with them. I'm like, I don't want to go into business with somebody, but what I'll
Mhm.
do is I'll buy. I bought at the time Bloomington Home and Personal Security, a little security store that
Mhm.
had a few little security items, and I turned it into a gun shop.
Yep.
Pretty much used my own guns. It was, if you remember, it was a little 900 square foot area
Yep.
right
I
downtown
remember.
Bloomington by
Right
Chase
across
Bank.
the
Right.
street. Yep. I used to
Yep.
pop over
So,
there once in a while and
yep.
check out the goods.
Um, and over the years, I said, we've known each other now for, see, it's 10, 12 years, 12 and a half years. It's gotten bigger and bigger,
Yep.
all because of repeat customers and
Yeah.
treating customers right.
Yes. Thank you. I
From
appreciate that because every time I know I need something, I come in, I go, I gotta go see Matt. I'll just go see Matt. I know I can get it. I know I can find it. He'll tell me what to do. Just go see Matt. Yeah.
well, it's about community. And like I said,
Mhm.
being the military, being my wife, law enforcement, knowing law enforcement, first responders,
Yep.
that's what it's about, helping the community out
Hmm.
and being aware of what, even firearm safety. As being an
Yes.
instructor now 27 years, it's firearm safety.
Yeah.
Inanimate object can't hurt you. It's a person that does something, but
Right.
it's knowing about it.
Human
So
error. Human error. Yeah.
but no, we
Mhm.
went from that 900 square foot. I ended up getting moved into another building that was 5,000 square foot, and then I'd gotten the advantage out by the fairgrounds, Airport Road, that was 7,500 square foot, and was there for
Yeah.
7 years. And then been trying. I've tried since 2007 to get an indoor range built in Virginia, up in Indianapolis. Here, I mean, I'd worked years and years, and then finally, had got down here, and I had another, who's my business partner now for a little over 2 years. Uh, Mike Lemons, he was a senior chief and a gunner, a warrant officer in the Navy, and then lieutenant commander. He's the XO down at Crane for the small arms. He retired from down there for 24 years. He's my business partner now. And so we've got this 100 acres down right over the Monroe County line to Lawrence County.
Yep.
So we're considered Bedford, even though
Yep.
we're the second property in Lawrence County.
Yeah.
But a 16,000 square foot building. We are the largest indoor outdoor range in Indiana. Um,
Wow.
so we do training, for safety. We've got firearms to rent. Just it's spreading that word, and it's been a year and a half now that we've been opened down there. So it's really getting the word out more that we're there, because going from being up here in Bloomington for so many years and moving to another location that's in a technically different city, it
Yeah.
has been a little hard to get that word out. But we are
Mm.
the only range around too, indoor range.
Yeah, and I was out
Um,
there a couple weeks ago with the Armed Women of America. They invited me down. I
yep,
think I'm probably going to join. They're a lot of fun little ladies. And
yep.
um, wow, your place is amazing. I mean, it's beautiful. It's big. It's huge. And I remember when you and I were in the networking group together, and you and I had some one-to-ones, and you said, "I'm going to have a range someday. That's my dream. I'm going to do it."
Yep.
And you did it. I mean, you jumped the hurdles, you swam the crocodiles, you went through the gauntlet and you did it. And that, I think that's the secret to pretty much anything, is if you drop the ball on your dream, then you'll never get to that touchdown. But you didn't. You hung in there, and you had a vision, you had a dream, and you made it come true. And I'm just so proud of you. It's just so beautiful. And wow, it's amazing. And so I'm looking forward to going down there and shooting more. And if you people out there listening haven't been, you got to go. It's not far from Bloomington, Indiana. It's what, 15 minutes at the most,
It's 15 miles from downtown Bloomington. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a
I live
hop and
over,
a skip, man. You
yeah.
throw a
So
rock at it. So
it's
people,
again, it is because of the customers.
yeah,
It's the community that has helped build the
yeah.
place. It's not just us. It is an amazing facility, but it's
Mhm.
also because of all the years of experience,
Mhm.
knowing what to be done correctly. I've ran and operated range for the Marine Corps, for the private sector. It's you have to see what's been done, and I've seen other places that are terrible because they don't put the money into it, and then they're constantly having to dump more and more money into it.
Mm,
This is something I plan on being around for years to come, even after somebody takes over for me,
right.
because it's the quality that's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But
And I
it's the
remember
community.
they had a gun range on campus when I was studying law. And
Yep.
I used to go to it. And I don't know what the heck happened to that or why. I'm sure there was some political thing or something.
Yeah.
So tell me about this resistance and opposition that you have run into trying to get this started.
Um, really, I'll say the only problem I had was we bought the land in April 1st of 2020. We bought the land, and we had the bank they're going through said, "Yep, everything's good. Go ahead." And we started going through doing everything. I had started putting everything now, because now if you actually go to Google Maps, you can see the overhead, you can see the facility, you can see we have the largest concrete American flag that we have our flagpoles on, thanks to Whitfield Concrete.
Yep.
He's done an amazing job, but you can see all that there now. But we had to clear out the trees, put the road in, do all that, and then in 3 months they said we're not going to do it. So go ahead and
No.
spend all the money that you have, all my savings to do it. And then they said, no, sorry. And because of an outdoor range that was hitting houses closer to them, they decided, said, no, we're scared. And
So
so I had to,
was it the bank or was it the community? Was it the local government?
oh, it was the bank,
Oh, the bank
because
didn't want
they had
to.
a
Okay.
couple members that were anti-gun,
Mm,
but
hmm.
they were scared of damage that could happen. And so I had to come back through, and they ended up coming through for us later on, but I had to come through and kind of explain to them the difference between outdoor ranges and indoor ranges.
Yeah.
Um, it kind of came down to, and we had an apology, but after having to pay something we spent 100 acres on, and buying that, having to still pay loans on that, and having to
Hmm.
pay our lease and everything else on another place for a year and a half wasn't fun. But telling them, say, hey, you have this outdoor range, it's like a go-kart facility,
Yeah.
and what we're doing and have is like NASCAR.
Yeah.
And explain, showing, hey, we've got the backstop that we shoot 50 caliber BMG, so people like call sniper rifle, high velocity. We shoot indoors
Hmm.
because our backstops are able to contain it, and it doesn't even go. We have a 7-yard backstop that's got everything. It's steel. It's got rubber, but it's got a steel backstop also.
Wow.
Um, it's nothing's getting through there, and it only goes a couple feet in right now anyway.
Hmm.
So they don't have to worry about the safety issue of, well, it's going to exit a building, it's going to do this, and there's no worry. And that's people who, you show them a gun and they're automatically, oh, that's a Glock.
Hmm.
No, that's not. You don't know your guns. You don't know your firearms. You can't make a law on something if you don't even know what you're making a law on.
Right. Well, they're
That's the
bankers.
frustrating part.
Yeah, they're bankers. Their forte is something completely different, and they haven't spent their all adult life around guns and training and teaching and learning about it. I mean, they're just local people, just kind of doing their thing, right? Well, did you find that in any particular areas that they were more resistant to the idea of gun shops and gun range? I mean, we're going through some weird times right now where people are questioning, well, they've always debated the Second Amendment, but where people are really kind of getting serious about, oh my God, it's the guns that kill people, not the people.
Yeah. You know, Being in Bloomington, like I said, started off, never had any issues. It was right downtown, just like
Hmm.
literally a couple blocks from Bloomington
Yeah, but
Police
that was
Department.
12 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Different,
all through
different
the time.
politics.
Yeah, it's all through the time I've been there. I've never had any problems with the local politicians or anything. There's always been some select few people that want to complain about things. And now building, if there was an area I would have liked to have built indoor range,
Hmm.
but the owner wanted too much for the property. It was in the county. It would have just taken 5 or 6 months to zoning. Monroe County zoning is terrible
Hmm.
on what they do. You have to have monthly meetings and do this and that, but because I've had to go through before. But for Lawrence County, where we're at, septic. The septic was the only thing we did. It was, you had to have it done between, I think it was April to October, and we got it done right in October, or else we'd have to wait for another 6 months.
Oh gosh.
Other than that, permits, everything,
Everything just
there's
kind of finally
not a
fell in
whole lot.
place.
Yes. But for individuals wise, there's a select few that will kind of give problems, but when you can sometimes explain to them differences, and some people will get it, some are just there to argue.
Yeah.
They want to argue, and they want to see people get flustered and riled up and try to do something, and it's not with those people. You just walk away from,
So you
because
haven't
it's
had any protests or any kind of craziness Thank goodness.
No,
Oh, good.
not at all. When I thought
Well,
we would, here a few years ago during 2020, like the COVID, they talked about these groups coming down. I thought maybe there was, but never had any issues.
oh, well, that's good. Yeah. Wow. That is just, well, I'm so glad, because I hear different stories from other people in, different parts of the
Yep.
country that have to deal with a lot. And Indiana's pretty, it's pretty gun friendly for the most part. A lot of people still here hunt and do, outdoors type of activities and hunting, fishing, and all that kind of stuff. So you still have a lot of those people, but every once in a while you get somebody who
We're,
just goes a little
this is a
crazy.
great area. Indiana
Mhm.
is, I mean, Indiana, Texas, Arizona, a lot of those are, I mean, we have full auto suppressors. We
Mhm.
do stuff that most people now have to pay extra tax stamp to ATF and go through those.
Mhm.
There's more regulations for that, but some states don't allow that.
Yeah.
And it's knowing what you can do, what you can't do, knowing that a firearm is an inanimate object. I've had them there for 12 and a half years and I've never had a gun go off
You
on
mean
its
they're
own.
not jumping off the shelf and going pew pew at you?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Growing little legs, coming over there, demanding better service, better bullets. Give me better
It's
bullets.
it's when people don't understand or don't know something, they
Yeah.
fear it
Yeah.
and they go after that fear instead of finding out more information on it.
So, what do you think? I'm going to ask you a political question. So, what do you think about all this new stuff about arming the illegal aliens that are illegally entering our country right now and roaming about the states?
Um, Honestly, I won't get into it too much because there's a lot of that with me. I don't pay a lot of attention to because I've seen being in DC for all those
Hmm.
years, I've
Hmm.
seen both sides and how you can't always believe what's on the media if you don't see it for yourself. Um,
What you mean? The media is not always honest?
yeah, well, yeah, they might be, but
There's some fake news out
honest
there.
for who? Yeah, so I don't get into a lot unless it's right there
Hmm.
and I see it for myself.
Hmm.
They'll tell you so much is going to happen. Look at all these tanks on the trains that are coming in, and then you see it, and you that's the same video they've been showing for 10 years.
Oh
So I mean,
goodness.
it's one of those things. I don't know, but I mean that's one thing we are apart from too.
Hmm.
No matter what, I'm not Democratic. I'm not Republican. I'm not Libertarian. I mean, I say my name's Barthel. I'm Bartarian. I mean, I've got my own thoughts on things. Are they good? Are they bad? Yes. Everybody has their own saying on things, but we don't get into politics down there at all
That's good.
because everybody has their own opinion.
Yeah.
If you don't like something, okay, that's fine, but don't
Yeah.
expect us to go your way too because we don't
Yeah.
expect you.
Yeah. Well, my grandma always used to say, there's an opinion for every person on the planet. So, there's a lot of ways to do something or think about something. And nobody's ever going to think the same as somebody else. Wow. So, what kind of services are you? I saw that you have some lessons, I think. Is it Julie shooting, teaching shooting or something?
Yes,
So, what's going on?
Julie Deal. She was a Air Force and state trooper, I think, for 13 years,
I
and
know Julie. She's awesome.
she does the women's course. I mean, it's monthly. I think the next one's here on the 20th. It's on a
Oh,
Saturday.
awesome.
Right now, since school's in, because she's a school resource officer, also, she
Hmm.
does a great job. The women down there have loved her. All the ones that come through the class once a month, doing defense and shooting, and so
Mm.
she's actually a separate from us, but she utilizes our classroom and we help out when we can.
Okay.
Uh, but we have a couple of groups that come down, and if you go to our calendar, we're trying to update more on our website. We've kind of revamped our website, but you go on the 2arange.com,
Didn't work
and then
today. I tried to go on there. It didn't work.
did you do the American Arms
No, I
TA
did
or
whatever's on your Facebook. It was
I'll check
two something.com.
2A range? I'll
Yeah.
check it out.
Didn't work. Twice I tried it. So
I'll
just
get
so you
on
know.
to our general manager, have him check it out.
Okay.
But it has a calendar, a training and events calendar, and it'll
Okay.
show any events. Even when we have our VIP rooms getting utilized for an event, we do that. So we try to show for something on there. But most of the training we have going on right now, we have a few outside groups that come in and do some training.
Mm.
And we try to let people know and let them know that they are not necessarily affiliated with this. They're utilizing the range
Mhm.
because, again, there's no place to utilize it unless you want to be outside
Mhm.
when it's cold,
Yeah.
um, outside when it's hot. But our facility is one of few that are temperature controlled. So when
Yeah.
it's 20 degrees outside, it's 72 degrees in the range.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't, I mean, it's just a recirculating $300,000 ventilation system.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
I was in there shooting my pistol. And so I was in that range. So is there another range for long guns or
There's
uh,
two bays.
okay.
You got bay one, which is there's 6 lanes, there's 12 lanes total.
Okay.
They're 25 yards. The bay one is we shoot 30 cal and below for rifle, and you can look up the 30 caliber round. It's many rifles that can do that. Bay two, we shoot everything in there too, but it's 50 BMG 330. It's a larger, higher velocity round
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that will be shot in there. And then we do have our outdoor range that we're looking at kind of getting fully open here soon. We got a little bit of work, but it's 250 yards.
Nice. Okay.
That's right on the backside of the building.
Now with all that land, are you guys going to be doing any sort of events outside or once you get everything organized, or what are you guys going to be doing? What's your future plan?
We've talked about it. Me personally, there's a lot I'd like to do with some veteran retreats or do stuff. I mean, we just got it timbered here this last year, and so now there's 20 or 30 new trails that I could drive my truck down through. I mean, they're
Oh.
awesome. Plenty of room to go down and do things. We'd like to have some competitions. We do hold
Yeah.
events out there. We've had some show cars out there. We've had I can't think. We've had a few little small events, but we're trying to get more and more recognized. And then again, like I said, with that concrete flag, we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to get Guinness. If they approve it, it would probably help get a donation. They charge, but it being the largest concrete American flag, as far as we know here in the U.S.
Nice.
And so it's beautiful when you come around. I mean, American arms. It's all about America and
Yeah.
arms, the right to bear arms. And so having that flag there is just awesome.
Very cool. So is your wife teaching as well?
No, she's actually she like I said, she Marine Corps law enforcement for
Mhm.
10 years and probation for 4. And then
Mhm.
she actually VA center and she got her bachelor's. Well, she had her bachelor's in interior or graphic design, visual communication, but she ended up getting her master's in social work.
Oh wow.
So we've been working on things and she does things to help, again, does a lot to help veterans.
Nice.
That's what we want to do. But her plan is to one day actually have more as a retreat and for rehabilitation and stuff like that, because there are, as we all know with veterans, but there's a lot of people who want to take advantage of veterans also. And so
Mm,
trying to do more things, mostly non-for-profit. I mean, you do have to pay staff and stuff. People don't understand that. But
yeah.
now that she has her social work masters, she's getting her LSW.
Mm.
Those, you got
All those
MD,
letters. Yeah,
PhD. Yeah,
yeah.
it's the same thing. MSW, but LSW, I think, is her to be even a therapist. So
Mhm.
it's the therapist is what she's looking at
Wow.
doing.
Look at you guys. You guys are just busy bees doing all this great stuff for people. And I really appreciate that. That is just so amazing. Oh my gosh. I don't talk to you. Once in a while, I run into you in the hallway when you're over, seeing Trent or whatever.
Trent, yep.
And I get
Well,
like
you'll
two
see a lot of.
seconds, 2 second update, and then off you're gone again. Like, my gosh, what is going on?
I do most of that stuff in the background, though. It's
Yeah.
not. Don't advertise that stuff out. It's not something that. It's hey, look what I did. We
Yeah.
did this.
Well, you're
The people
humble,
who get
and that's
done for them,
nice.
they know it's
Yeah.
done for them, and they appreciate it. That's what it's about.
Well, and that's one of the things that the reason that I just found you so amazing when we were, in the networking group, because some of these groups, they have people in there and it's all about them,
Mhm.
and then there's people like yourself, that it's about doing things for the community that also help you and your family as well, because everybody's got to take care of their family. But it wasn't like just about you, and I always appreciated that. That was probably one of the reasons why I connected with you easily, because well, you're military and I'm used to growing up and being Air Force brat, so I get it. Um, but no, that's really great. I'm just I don't know what to say. My gosh, this is amazing. So if someone wanted to come out there, I mean, what are we talking about? Price wise? I know, this could be dated at some point, but right now, are you pretty comparable or what are we looking at?
We do, if you're just a walk-in, it's
Mhm.
$20 an hour for
Mhm.
that person and 15 for a second person shooting on the lane.
Okay.
You can bring your own firearms.
Hmm.
We do have probably 50 plus to rent. Like I said, we have handguns, long guns, we got full autos, we have
Hmm.
the suppressors. Um, if we do have memberships, so if you plan on shooting a lot, the memberships are a good deal because right now it's $400 for a year
Oh, wow.
that you just come in and shoot. I love my fiber laser engraver. I love engraving stuff, and so I actually make your membership card is on an aluminum card, red, white, or blue.
Wow.
And so you have that membership card that's got your name on it, and I'll put the expiration date on it. But military, law enforcement, first responders get 15% off, so it's 340.
Oh, wow. That's good.
And we'll do month,
Hmm.
quarter, 6 month, but it does cost more doing that. So it's instead of 400, it's 250 for 6 months. So you
Mm.
end up paying
Mm.
500.
So you get a
So
better
it's like
deal if you go ahead and sign
it
up for a whole
is.
year.
There's discounts in having the membership also.
And then if they're a member of any particular clubs, do they get a discount? Like I noticed
Um,
the Armed Women of America, so I don't know, NRA or who else? Who else? Is there anybody else?
we did do something with them utilizing because they were coming utilizing the classroom. There's only so much we could do, and that some of that was utilizing our classroom.
Mm-hmm.
We do charge $50 an hour. We sometimes, depending on what you're doing, because some of these groups come in, they want to utilize the classroom, and it's like, well, we've got other ones we want to utilize too, so we charge $50 an hour. If you're there 2.5 hours, we're not going to charge you 2.5 hours worth. We'll do 2 hours, but they'll use the classroom and they go out and have a group they want to go shoot to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we kind of work around, but we started off saying, okay, well, yeah, we know you, Donna, with the Women of America, so we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
give you a good deal. And
Mm-hmm.
what we did was the women, if you got a membership, we took off, so you got a discount on that.
Right.
We started having to go across the board. We can't just say, okay, Julie, we're gonna give you a really good deal because you're here all the time. We give this person a deal. We're like, no, we got to make it fair because
Right.
where do we draw the line at? And so um, that was kind of a tough thing because
Mm-hmm.
unless you're our instructor, which I said we're looking at doing some things for ourselves, it'd be different. If you're an employee,
Yeah.
you're gonna get paid as an employee
Right.
doing the work. But if you're not an employee, why are you only gonna get paid as an employee to teach a class? So
Right.
we had to discuss some things when we wanted it to be fair for everybody.
That's nice. Yeah. And so if someone wanted to utilize the classroom, they could just contact you guys and get on the calendar and pay the hourly fee for however much time. Is that how it works?
Yes,
Okay.
they do that. We also have the VIP room we rent out,
Okay.
1,800 square foot room with got my golden billiards pool table in there. We got
Ooh.
nice surround sound couches. I mean,
Nobody showed me that. How come I didn't get to see
I will. Well, they should have. We try to if
that? That's okay.
there's time, but we've had organizations come in and rent it out, and we
Yes.
will do to where they'll even go and shoot then afterwards. And so we'll have a set price to where if you got your group, it's a set price. You get to shoot all the guns. You just pay for ammo, and um, we've
So
done
it
that for
doesn't.
a few companies.
So it doesn't have to be gun related or shooting related. It can be any corporation can come in and
This
say, "We're
uh,
doing a weekend retreat with our employees. We want to use that room
yes,
and let them shoot."
this last one I won't say who it is. It was a kind of a pharmaceutical company, and
Okay.
you would not have thought they would have done it. And the guy running it, the district, he was a Marine,
Oh,
and he actually said that at first they did a whole Zoom call, and after they got done, he had to make some phone calls to the ones they thought wouldn't do it, and none of them have a problem. They were all
oh,
there, 25 of them. They
wow.
only 12 or 13 of them shot. Some had to leave, but some of them drove 5 hours for this meeting.
Oh, wow.
It was an all day meeting, but they
Mhm.
got to afterward. We got lunch for them and everything, and they went out and they had a blast. I mean, so
Wow.
they got to shoot the 50 cal, and I engraved the 50 cal shells for them with their name on it, and so I mean, there's things like that but it's learning. They got to learn. Some have never
Mhm.
shot before, and they
Wow.
were amazed because they just seen videos or hear
Yeah.
people. So it's
Yeah. Well, people just don't, back in the day when the Bill of Rights and the amendment was made to the Constitution for the right to bear arms, people owned their arms. Everybody had arms. unless you live maybe in the middle of some small town, but everybody had something because you had to. There was coyotes and wolves and bears and you need deer for dinner or whatever. But nowadays, people are just so far from living outdoors that the whole concept of having a gun is just,
Well, I grew up in Helena, Missouri. So you got Helena, Savannah, Missouri, went to high school a little bit my freshman, sophomore year, but St. Joe, Missouri, with Pony Express was started. We went in our trucks. We had guns in the window. We had guns that went in. I mean, we carried them around, and
yeah.
I can't remember anybody ever getting shot or hurt.
In high school, the guys
It
had
didn't
their
happen.
pickup trucks. High
Yes,
school guys had pickup trucks with their shotgun in the rack.
even elementary school. Like I said, I'm 47. I'm not that old. I mean, I'm still there, but they brought guns to school for show and tell. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was safety. We
Yeah.
learned safety. Nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Rare, very rare, very rare. Now
yeah,
it's,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure something happened at some point, but
Well,
I
of
mean,
course. But yeah. Oh, I remember in high school. I mean, I
yeah,
graduated in the early 80s, and I remember walking out in the parking lot and so and so would pull in his old, Ford truck or whatever, and he
yeah,
had his gun rack in there. Everybody did.
yeah.
It was not a big deal, but nowadays, what can I say? But some people have mental health problems and they're not making good choices. So it makes one. What does my grandma always say? One bad apple spoils the whole bunch. Unfortunately, so that's whatever. But so we only have like 5 minutes left. What else do you want to tell us that I don't even know to ask? Tell me something about it that I don't know to ask you.
Well, I would say as firearms related wise, it's if you don't know about them, just find out. Go to some place that actually teaches and trains
Mhm.
and find more information out. Don't hear from somebody who doesn't have any experience or had a bad experience. Because like I said, I've been an instructor 27 years.
Mhm.
Those who have and those who will have an unintentional discharge.
Mhm.
I had one 4 years ago,
Mhm.
being sloppy, and luckily nobody was hurt, but I didn't check my magazine. Yeah, I checked the chamber, didn't check the magazine, and
Mhm.
I was dry firing, and it happens. But it's
Mhm.
because you come complacent and you think, nope. You
Mhm.
always check your firearm. You
Yep.
always know the condition of it. You set it down, you pick it back up, you check it, you make
Mhm.
it second nature. But
Mhm.
it's knowing, like I said, it's not going to hurt anybody. It can't. It's a person that does it. And
Mhm.
the safety, like they have in Black Hawk Down, I always say, this is your safety, your finger, finger off the trigger.
My
Um,
dad always says, assume the gun is loaded. Assume the gun is loaded. Just assume automatically. Just don't do
yeah,
anything stupid. Assume it's always loaded. Yeah. And I'm just now starting to, my daughter's been shooting with me a couple times when we've been visiting my dad because, he was in the military for so long. So he's got a zillion guns and, does all this shooting and stuff too. So I'm trying to get her to come down. She was with me the last time I was down there, but she got nervous and chickened out. So I'm
well,
going
it'd
to
be
bring
good
her down.
for Julie's class. We actually
Yeah.
we provide
And she knows Julie because Julie
okay,
was
good,
the safety officer at her school. So
at school, and
yeah.
she's still there. But we use a 6 or 322. They're 22 calibers. We use them for the
Mm.
class now. We provide them for Julie's
Oh,
class.
okay.
So that's what they get to use the first time. It's a 22 caliber. It's one of the smallest rounds you can use. So it's not any kick whatsoever. It gets you used to shooting a firearm.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but yeah, have her.
she shot a couple 9mm so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was what, 9mm? Yeah. And then my dad has some big ones. I forget what they were. I think she's better than I am. I used to be a really great shot and then I quit doing it and now I'm just like all over the place. So
My
time
vision's
time to start practicing again.
no, my vision's gone, and so it's I've had to switch to using a red dot now. And
Well, that's the challenge for me because I am nearsighted. But now with being 60 years old, I'm losing that right here. I still have this in here, but then beyond the arms, I can't see a dang thing. And so trying to aim and see that white dot and see what's going on down there at the same time. I either have my glasses on and I can see far, I've got them off and everything's blurry. So
well, the red dot Wednesdays are usually my day off. I'm down there some days. Next time I'm down, just say something and red dot. That's where I've had to go. I mean, I've competed for
and that's
years.
the one that's like the little laser that comes on that you put
It's
on
just
there.
optic
Or
on top of
on
the
top.
gun.
Okay.
Yep. And so it doesn't show down the target, it's just on top.
Okay. I guess I need that. I need two of them. I
Yeah.
got two new guns. So, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. All
Yep.
right.
So
So give us the phone number, the address, and where to
well,
find you on Facebook and all that jazz.
phone number nice and easy, 812 firearm.
Ah, I like it.
So it's nice and easy. And actual or the web address, same thing, 812firearm.com, .con, .net, .org. Firearms, if you put that in there, it'll work.
Okay.
But it also should be www.2arange.com. But like I said, I'll check on that and see why
And
that
then you're
didn't
on
come up.
Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook is American Arms Indoor Range.
Okay.
Instagram is the same thing.
Okay.
I gotta try to get other people to run social media. They do, and
And
I forget what all.
I like your address, 777 something. So that's a good
Guthrie
lucky
Road.
number.
It was we got to come up with a number.
Did you
There's
really?
a 758 and a 780 something, and I said, let's make it 777.
Very cool. That's an angel number right there. That's a
Yeah.
good positive number. All right. Well, our time's up. We got like 1 minute. So I appreciate you working hard to get all the internet stuff done. I'm sorry about that.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
I appreciate so next time I work at home a lot now since COVID. I got kind of lazy sitting at home working, but come by my office and I definitely will be out there. I'll be seeing you.
Sounds good.
All right. It was such a pleasure. Thank you
You
so
too.
much. Say hi to Julie. Say hi to your wife.
I will.
And we'll see you soon. Thanks for
All right.
coming
Have a
on.
good day.
Thanks. Bye.